How about this? How about I come up with stakeholders and you explain it? Frosty the Snowman. Interns as a part of the congregation. But if the interns are working there in conjunction with the whole service, obviously they need the ushers to be organized and to know what's going on. Okay, so stakeholders. Everybody got that? Let's try another ministry. Give me another one. Greeters. Let's do something. Greeters is so similar to ushers. Okay, let's do choir. Choir, okay? Stakeholders. The whole church. Why the whole church? It's true, but why the whole church? Okay, so if the choir is not spiritually ready, or if they're not engaged in what they're doing, they're up there. Right? Or messing around, bumping each other. Or they're lifting their hands and, right? Checking out the people in the congregation. Well, that's going to be bad for everybody, right? But certainly bad for the worship pastors who lead and employ a choir for the purpose of leading the people, all the pastors involved. How about the skeptics that come to church? They come to church, see, is this even real? And they look up there and say, nope. Even the people that are leading up there, they're not even into it. Makes a big difference, doesn't it? Makes a big difference. So, stakeholder needs, often overlooked, but it's so important. And if you don't stop and just think about it and realize it, you know, if you've been around leadership a long time, then often you don't have to really stop and write them all out. But certainly when you're assuming a new position that's sort of in a new category than you've ever led before, you probably should ask your overseer, hey, who else should I be considering here? Who else should I be considering? I remember that every November we've had Acquire the Fire here at the worship center. And I remember the very first year we had it was great, but they were loud, you know, for the teenagers and such. And oh, did the complaints come from the mobile home park next door. Oh. And we realized we forgot a stakeholder because we were blasting them out. You know, some people say, oh, they can't hear. They can hear.
They can hear if they want.
They can hear. Even the ones with the hearing aids, turn them up. They can hear. And you know what? And several times we've hit that again, but we try to be sensitive to cut it off at certain times and such. And so when people come in now, we have to tell them now there's a certain time we have to cut the music low. Why? Because we recognize a stakeholder. And we know that that's an important stakeholder. We don't want the community to be upset with us. Okay. Now, can we go on to number 2? Is that all right? All right, number 2, mission. Who we are and what we do. Who we are and what we do. Or we could say it like this, our essential and unchanging purpose and passion. Our essential and unchanging purpose and passion. Or we could just say it like this, why we exist. Why are we here? Why is this team here? This team that I'm leading, why are they here? Sometimes you think it's obvious, but sometimes it's not as obvious as you think. Now, let me give you an example. Most people know about cars. Let's think about cars. You know, there are different kinds of cars. There are sports cars. There are utility vehicles, sport utility vehicles. There are pickup trucks. There are moving vans. There are minivans. There are economy cars. And then there are sometimes very unique kind of vehicles. For example, an ice cream truck. Now, an ice cream truck is designed a little differently than most other vehicles. Is that true? Now, it's still a vehicle. Still has usually 4 wheels, 5 with the steering wheel, right? It's got a horn. It's got an engine, so on. Got a transmission and all that. But it's built in a little different way for a certain mission, a certain purpose. And what is that purpose? Well, it's ice cream. So it has freezers inside, and it usually has some really colorful, awful-looking stickers on the outside with pictures of ice cream and such. And then, of course, the most distinct part of the ice cream truck that everybody knows. Every ice cream truck, as you know, has to have one of the worst sound systems in the world. Isn't that right? Because when it's coming down the street, it has to go bloom, 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 right? And then every kid knows that's the ice cream truck, right? Because nothing else sounds that bad, okay? Okay, but it's designed for that purpose. No, it's hard to sell a lot of ice cream out of a Corvette. It's just not, it just doesn't work, right? It's not built right. So every vehicle is built for something. Corvettes are built for, low speed around those corners and on those straightaways, right? But an ice cream truck, well, it doesn't corner very well, honestly, right? The speed, no, it doesn't do that, and it shouldn't. It's around kids all the time, okay? It's very slow, looks terrible, but sells ice cream, okay? Now, think about your team. Why does your team exist? Really? Why does it exist? This is mission. 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 I remember back in the 1980s, when Ronald Reagan was the president, that he awarded as Teacher of the Year a man named Guy Dowd. And Guy Dowd was a Christian man who, after he was awarded this, began to be popular. Focus on the Family and other ministries really highlighted him and promoted him because he was a believer, and he was awarded the Teacher of the Year. But I remember hearing Guy Dowd talk, and though he didn't use the words of mission and vision and such, he expressed exactly what we're trying to get to with mission. And I'm paraphrasing what he said based on my memory, but it impacted me so deeply that these words still haunt me in a good way. He said this. He said, as a teacher, when you come into the classroom and you have your math lesson ready, your science lesson ready to go, but you look over and you see one of the kids with tears in their eyes. And you pull little Johnny outside and say, Johnny, what's wrong? What's going on? And he said, my mom just died of cancer. He said, you realize that the math lesson is not the most important thing that we're working on today. Or when you see a kid that's acting out, misbehaving and such, and you try to get them under control and you try to correct them and they just can't seem to pull it together, you finally get them away from all the other kids and you say, what's going on with you? What's happening? Oh, my dad and mom are getting a divorce. He said, you just realize that even though you thought you were a math teacher, you thought you taught science and history, he says, I had to realize I'm not here to teach math. I'm not here to teach science. I'm not here to teach history. I'm here to teach kids. And kids need to be taught wherever they are. See, it's mission. Math, science, history, vision. Teaching kids. It's my mission. Mission is why we're here. Not just here to help you get a good score on the SATs. No. We're here because we're helping you. You're a human being. You're a person. And we want to help you to be the best person that you can be. And yes, the school's requiring me to hit certain targets and grades and statuses and such. But the reason why he said, these are my words, not his, he got into teaching, is to teach kids. and help them to be the best that they can be. See, if you don't know why you exist, and you get off on just the vision, just hitting the metrics, so to speak, you'll lose touch with why you're really there. And you'll drive just for the metrics, but you'll forget the heart of why you're there. We're talking about mission. I know, think about our courtyard ministry. When we first started our church and we implemented our courtyard ministry, we had a very clear purpose in mind. It wasn't because there was too much coffee being grown in the world and we just have to help distribute it. It wasn't because people needed more caffeine in their systems. We implemented the courtyard ministry so that people that came to church, instead of just rushing to their cars and driving away, would stop and be able to talk to each other. That's it. That was the mission. It wasn't really about coffee and donuts at all. It's about busy people who are used to just blowing in and blowing out, stopping and getting connected with somebody, having somebody ask them, how are you doing? Tell me your story. What's happening with you? But what happened was, after you transition courtyard leaders a while, down the line, a courtyard leader didn't hear the mission. Just heard, oh yeah, well you do get the coffee ready this way and do it by this time and the donuts and here's the systems and such. And so we're just doing donuts and coffee anymore. And we don't know what our mission is. Mission trumps vision. Mission trumps vision. Mission is why. But why are we here? Why are we doing it? If you don't know why you're doing it, it doesn't matter how well you do it. You're not going to do it right. If you're part of the Rock, if your ministry is part of the Rock, our mission is building solid lives. And everything we do relates back to that. In fact, we always like to say this. I like to remind our team, vision, all of our vision should only help us either do mission more effectively or do more mission. All of our vision should help us either do mission more effectively or do more mission. See? For example, the Rock paid off for them. Okay, so there's a new building. Great. Why? Well, it's a cool building. Yeah? That's why? I've seen cooler. Right? Yeah, but why? Well, because it's right there at downtown. Okay? That's why? Why didn't we try to buy City Hall? Why are we doing it? Well, because God told us to? Yeah. Why? Build solid lives. More solid lives. Is that right? See, vision must serve mission. And when it doesn't, we've got the wrong vision. More. More what? Does it do more mission? Does it help us build solid lives? Or build solid lives better or build more solid lives? See? And for us, we know that even if it did, if the Lord's not telling you to do it, because you could say, we're going to get these 48 buildings over here. Why? Build more solid lives. Well, no, wait a minute. In the kingdom of God, we can only do what the Lord tells us to do. Right? Jesus said, I don't do anything unless I see my Father do it. I don't say anything unless I hear my Father say it. So we have to be careful that in this kingdom, we don't get opportunistic and justify vision because we can justify how it relates to mission. We still have to be led by the Holy Spirit. But nonetheless, the point comes back to that mission trumps vision. Vision serves mission and not the reverse. And not the reverse. Excuse me. Vision serves mission. Is that what I said? I was right. Okay, now, thank you. Let me give you another little sub part of mission. Sometimes people have mottos. And sometimes they boil their mission down to a motto. Ours is more like a motto in terms of its size. Very simple to understand, very short. building solid lives. But think about some other mottos. A motto is short and memorable to be able to be rehearsed and to motivate people. Like, have you ever heard this one? This is from a very popular company that, came out. This company started about, I think maybe almost 10 years ago now. And their motto is this: we scare because we care. What is it? Monsters, Inc. All of the people under 30 just answered me. Okay. How about this? Touching people, changing lives. I've heard that. To reach the lost at any cost. To know him and to make him known. Or some of you might remember this. I can't remember what the company is, but think about this. We measure success one investor at a time. Who is that? Who is it? I don't know if that's E.F. Hutton. I remember E.F. Hutton was, when E.F. Hutton talks, everybody listens, right? But who? Is it Merrill Lynch? Might be Merrill Lynch. Okay. Listen to this. Here's a motto of the Ritz-Carlton that we picked up on many years ago. And in fact, it led into one of our mottos. And I'll tell you what both are. But I remember when I studied the Ritz-Carlton, one motto that they had with all their employees was this: we are ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. And you see the picture that puts in people's minds? It speaks to how I carry myself, how I conduct my life. But it also speaks to who I'm working with. Regardless of what I deem is their economic status. We are ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. See? And so we picked up on that, and a number of years ago, we began to say this: we are kings and priests serving kings and priests. Because that's who we are. Right? But these mottos can sometimes help us to remember who we are. Who we are. Now, I want you to do this. I want you to think of, let's see, how much time do we have left? Thinking about an exercise. I'm going to give you 2 minutes for this, okay? Here's what I want you to do. I want you, if you're already leading the group, if you're the group that you lead is part of the Rock, obviously our overriding mission is building solid lives. But you may have some mission that relates to that or distills down to what you're doing. Like, for example, I told you about the courtyard. Okay, in the courtyard, they could say, well, our mission of the Rock is building solid lives. In the courtyard, here's what we're really about. It's really not about coffee and donuts. It's really about this, right? It's mission. So if you're leading a department, a group, an organization, whatever it is that's on your heart, I want you just to jot down, you may or may not already have this, jot down some words that you think could be the beginning point of capturing your mission. If you are not leading anything right now, then just envision something that you'd like to lead or that you think, I could lead something like that. And don't worry about if somebody's already leading it. You're not promoting yourself. This is just a personal exercise, okay, just to understand these principles. So just think about it. In fact, write down what team you're leading, department or ministry or organization you're leading. Write it down so you're clear about it. And then just write a few words. I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes, maybe even a minute and a half, and write down words that you think could represent the beginning of a mission, why you exist. Go ahead. How many of you are done? Keep writing. I'm still drinking my coffee. Okay. Who'd like to share what your team is and the words that you wrote about mission? All right?
For the business group,
Okay, business group.
leading entrepreneurs to solid lives by teaching them to seek God's kingdom first.
Leading entrepreneurs to be solid lives by teaching them to seek God's kingdom first. Good. Good. See, that didn't get distracted with what you'd normally think, oh, they're going to be great business people and successful and make a lot of money and such. Well, yeah, we want to see that too, but there's something more important that we're working on. There it is. Somebody else. Yes.
OSL prison ministry, building solid lives where most wouldn't consider.
I like that. Yeah, Scott and I have talked about this. OSL prison ministry, building solid lives where most people wouldn't consider going. Yeah, that's very good. Very good.
Follow-up ministry for freedom.
Follow up for freedom. Okay.
Yes. So our mission is to passionately pursue each of our kids with the love of God Sunday through Sunday.
Okay, passionately pursue. This is the follow-up ministry for freedom, the youth ministry. In other words, kids that come to freedom and may not be coming anymore, or we haven't seen them, or whatever, but somebody's got to follow up with these kids outside of church, right? So, say it again, Christy.
Passionately pursue each of our kids with the love of God Sunday through Sunday.
Passionately pursue each of our kids with the love of God Sunday to Sunday, between Sundays.
Yes.
Very good. Very good. One more.
Three words, rock group leader,
Rock group leader, okay?
encourage, edify,
Encourage, edify, and
and exalt.
exalt. Like exalt the people. You worship your team. There is one God, my brother. No, I'm just kidding. We all know what you mean. I'm just totally messing around. Okay. Very good. See, you guys got it. This is exactly what we're talking about. We're getting down to the heart of why we exist. And we're after some metrics, yes, because we want to reach more people and such. But what are we really about? Okay, so let's talk about number 3, vision. Everybody say vision. So mission is who we are, what we do, like why we exist. But vision is where we're going. Vision is where we're going. In fact, I'm going to write that in my notes because for some reason, do you have that in your notes?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, where we're going. Now, let me give you a couple of scriptures, and I want to give you an example of the power of vision. Okay, now think about this. Let me help you with the difference between mission and vision. Mission is why we're here. Like, what are we really doing? What are we really doing here? Vision is, okay, what do I see right ahead of me that needs to be done? Okay, so vision has to do with seeing, right? What do I see that needs to be done? If I forget why I'm doing it, I could be working on what I see, but not the right way because I forgot why I'm working on it. Okay? But vision is still what we see. What do we see on the horizon? What do we see that needs to be done? Let's go back to our ice cream truck. Say our mission as an ice cream truck. We're an ice cream truck, okay? Say our mission is we make people happy by serving quality ice cream. That's our mission. We make people happy serving quality ice cream. Now, we're going along, doing our mission, boom, 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 and everything's going okay. And all of a sudden, back in 2001, 9/11 happens. Bam. And we're watching the news, and we're seeing all these people there looking for their loved ones, passing out flyers, weeping, crying, distraught. And then we feel like, we just see something. We see a vision. We need to go to New York. So we head to New York. So let me ask you something. When we get to New York, what are we going to do? Mission. We're going to make people happy by serving quality ice cream. Why? Because that's what we do. We're an ice cream truck. That's what we do. We're not going to mow lawns. Do you understand? We're not equipped to do that. That's not what we do. We're not called to do that. We're going to go and do our mission, but right now the vision is to do it in New York because there's a need there, and we felt like we should respond to that need. Everybody understand? So the vision is to go to those people who are hurting, who don't have any happiness, who's taking care of them. And we want to be a part of taking care of them. And our part is, we're going to cheer them up today by serving them some quality ice cream. Now, a few years go by, and I think we're in about 2005, and Hurricane Katrina rocks the southern part of the nation. And we get a new vision. We see all those people in New Orleans that are hurting and homeless and all of that. And we get a new vision. We need to go down there. But what are we going to do when we get down there? Tell me.
Serve quality ice cream.
We're going to do our mission.
Make people
We're going to make people happy. We're going to cheer them up with serving quality ice cream. See, the mission doesn't change. The vision changes from season to season and from need to need, but your mission is the same. So vision is subject to the season that we're in and what we see that needs to be done. But we don't lose our mission as we do it. We don't just go there and say, okay, let's see, what should we do? Should we start making boats? Well, I guess for a short period of time, if they just said, hey, can you grab that? Can you help us lay some cots down for some people? Of course, and everybody jumps in to do that. That's the emergency. But once that's settled, we do our mission. We do our mission. So many organizations, leaders, departments, and such get so wrapped up in vision but forgot their mission. And because they don't rehearse the mission over and over and over, they're doing a lot of things, and it has the appearance that we're really going somewhere. But for